Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming back with the EARTHRISE Optimus Prime. This guy looks good. Probably the best mainline Prime they put out. Is he worth the 50 bucks? We're going to take a look at this guy and talk about that coming up. Here he is in his packaging, and the thing I want to point out is he has these kind of brown straps holding him in. There is some plastic straps up here. So they were talking about getting rid of plastic by 2021. So, well, this is 2020, so we've got another year till we see all plastic gone. And then there's another plastic piece down there. So there's a lot of plastic they were talking about getting rid of. But anyway, here's the side, and this is great looking packaging. You do see. Are we going to get a new Sideswipe? Are we going to get, well, we know we're going to get Trailbreaker. We know we're going to get a new Megatron. Just the packaging tells you a lot. What's going on over here with Shockwave? What's going on with the Ark? What's going on with that ship? And then here's the back, shows you everything. And Prime, EARTHRISE, EARTHRISE, EARTHRISE. Packaging looks good, makes you want to buy it. So let's have a good look at this guy. And I think he is a nice looking bot. He's a really good looking Optimus Prime. So let's start out just looking at the paint on him. You see his head it's got some nice paint on it. And a lot of people talked about how the back seems to be more shinier than the front. I think it looks the same to me. But he does have his eyes. His eyes are painted blue. A lot of people think they should be yellow. And yes, he's got some paint in here with his matrix, and then you can open this chamber up, this matrix chamber, and you have his matrix in there. It is removable too, and yeah, a lot of stuff you can do with this matrix. It's cool. That is awesome. This is the best version I've seen in a mainline. Looking down to all the paint and the details in the wipers. Keep going all the way down. There's paint on my hand from other things I've been doing a lot lately. And paint right here. Now this looks kind of a bit odd with the gray in the middle, and then when it transforms, it forms this the hitch or whatever. But it's not too bad. Like that's probably the second worst looking thing on here. Paint right here, paint on the toe. I don't really like the tires on the side like that. I like how some transformations hide that, but I mean, I guess you're asking too much for a mainline release. And then looking over to the back, pretty clean. Don't care for the tires on the back. Now, someone had said there's a way to pop them off. I don't know. I didn't see that, but I'm not going to bother with it. I mean, it looks good, and from the front, you can still see the tires from the front. But anyway, overall, a nice clean bot. Let's see about some articulation. Head goes down and up and side to side. Shoulder out to the 90. Spins all the way around. Bicep swivel. A 90 right here. You have actually hand articulation, so that's something. So why is this a leader class and costing 50 bucks? You've got some upgrades. Looking right here, instead of a big waffle and it just being open like we've seen in a lot of these other ones, if this was a Voyager, there it goes. It's covered. They could include this. They know to do it. They just don't at that price point. So we're getting a little more than just the trailer for 50 bucks. We're getting improvement in the figure. And then looking down, leg all the way out, goes like that. We do get a little bit of waist swivel, but no ab crunch. And past the 90, almost MP44-like. That's awesome. And it doesn't look even double hinge, it's just that they made the clearance to where it does the clearance. And then you have ankle tilt, toe tilt. That's about it on articulation. So let's look at his gun. And his gun looks good too. It is painted. Looks like it's cast in either it's cast in black. No, it's painted. This is cast in that color and just painted black. Looks good. It is MP10-ish. Haha. It's an MP10 gun. Now, if you want, you can pull it off and you can store it right here in the back. If you want, like, say he's got his hands full of other things. But there's one problem. He's missing his axe that nobody uses or cares about, really. So there's really no need for it. All right, looking at his trailer, the trailer does have the usual suspects of having some way to support it. It's really small. It almost feels Legends size small though. But anyway, moving over here, you get, it'll open up, you get the tailgate, you get the whole connectivity of the tailgate. You can remove this and all of that. And then you have this guy here, which doesn't articulate up. It just goes to this mode. So where you can leave it on the outside if you want to. You have the arms, moves around. Looks like you should have missiles for it, but there's no missiles. So kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a cheap trailer. It really is. It's got a lot of detail on it, looks okay, but in the overall grand scheme of things, it's kind of a cheap trailer. So let's do some comparisons, and we're gonna start with comparing the trailers. Here it is compared to a G1 trailer, and it does feel like you get so much less. Not just that it's smaller, weight-wise, but it just feels like the G1 was built more solid. I don't know. I just feel like I like the G1 better than this one, but there's no way to connect the G1, so anyway. When you open them up too, for like the repair bay gimmick, you do see, let me get this other one open. Pluses and minuses, this one has a lot more to it, like little seats and stuff. That one is kind of bare bones. So you see the difference between the two. There you go. We can put the primes in there, and this prime takes up the whole trailer when you stick them in there. And the G1 prime takes up half the trailer, so there's the difference. For fun, next to a Masterpiece, and you can see that it is Masterpiece inspired with the way they do those extra little props. Let's do a quick comparison of him to the G1 Prime. He is taller than G1 Prime, way more articulated than G1 Prime, and they look good. He looks good. Good, good. Here he is next to two Voyagers, Siege Voyager, Grapple, and the Earthrise. And what you're gonna see, of course, is you see the opening there and how that is closed up. So that's a big difference in the price point. I guess that's what they're gonna say. So you really don't need to buy fillers for this guy, but you would probably want to buy fillers for this guy. I'm just gonna leave it. But there is a size difference. Truly is a Voyager being charged a leader class price. Of course, they're including some extra stuff. I think this is one of the best leaders that makes the best use of it, but you're paying 20 bucks for a trailer. Here he is next to Siege, Megatron, Earthrise, Starscream, and that all looks good. The downside is they're remaking another Megatron, and it does look a little more G1. It does, I have to admit. I kind of held off on Megatron until I saw the cell shaded, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it on the cell shaded. I wonder if they make the new one cell shaded too. We'll find out. Here he is next to a couple of big boys, and you can see the design aesthetic. This is the old leader class that was only like 45 bucks. So look what you got for 45 bucks. And it came with a trailer packed in. Anyone, Road King, Fantasy Toys Road King, anyone? It's kind of the same concept, but probably not done as well. And then MP44, and then you look in between the two, not quite Masterpiece, way ahead of what they were doing back in the day, but a whole lot less plastic involved. And of course, the comparison everybody wants to see, and that would be versus the other Prime, the Siege Prime. And I have to say they both look good. One of the things I want to point out is the proportions have shifted just like they did in the Masterpiece line. So meaning that this is a good looking G1-esque Prime. But if you see, the waist has gotten higher over here. You know, he's older, he wears his pants a little higher. But that proportion is actually more accurate to the show. A couple of pluses and minuses from these guys, because of course I got them both and I've been looking at them both, and I thought this was good, but I knew it had opportunities. So when you look down here, the lower legs look pretty clean. They look pretty good, and it sort of hides the tires. This one does not hide the tires and has some unsightly stuff on the inside, where this is more or less not. But you move up closer and you look at arm kibble. The arms are so much cleaner on this one. And this kibble here, now I actually think even if I pop this piece off here, you still have this arm kibble to deal with. So it's like, there's not really a way to modify this to look nearly as clean as that. So I like that, and the transformation for this, it works. Looking to the back, they both look good. I kind of prefer this because I don't like this. And I thought they were going to keep the same type of engineering. They completely re-engineered it. So now I'm starting to think Megatron is completely re-engineered also. We'll find out when that comes out. Now to get this guy transformed up, the first thing I want to say is most people are going from alt mode to bot mode, and that's usually pretty easy. So very few videos out there I see going from bot to alt mode. So I'm going to do it that way this video. So just bear with me here. Starting here, we're going to put the hands in on both sides. And yes, I'm going to reiterate, since my hands are going to be in this a lot, I do have paint on them, lots of paint. I have been scrubbing it off. I'm doing lots of projects, lots of fun. Okay, so getting into this, let's go ahead and we're going to flip these wheels out in the back, fold this down and around, flip him around, and then fold these back. Now at this point, you can go ahead and tab all this in if you want to, and get that. Now we're with this, lift this piece up. These two tabs are holding all that in place. You're going to bring this out, and there's a tab here that's gonna tab that in, and this is tight. And then you want to fold out all of this good stuff here. Fold it out, and it makes the majority of the cab. Now you can actually hyper fold it, which that's what I want to do. And then you fold this down, move the arms to the back. Folding this down, it will all tab in, and you'll have this part done. You can fold the wheels in at this point. We still have to worry about the head. So we're gonna open this back piece and fold the head in, and this is all nice and tight here. All right, so that all works. And then I'm gonna do the arms, super G1-esque, but one thing before you do the arms is this little piece in here, you have to bring it out. Not untab everything, bring it out. So bring this out. And then you can do the arms in there the way they're supposed to go. Super G1-like, close the tabs up. Same thing on the other side. Get the arms in there. And then close all the tabs up. And that's it. Talk about an easy transformation. That is nice. That is easy. Easier than Siege. All right, let's have a look at this guy. He looks good. This is super G1-esque Prime. It's what you would expect. No, it's not perfect, but nothing is. And $50 price point, what you're getting, the engineering, it's smooth, it's easy. I like it. The top, now this gap here, I'm not a huge fan of it, but you kind of don't see it from the side or the front. You do see it from the back, but we're gonna get into that in just a second. Definitely, I like the stripes on it, all of the paint and all the features and all this stuff. Some of this stuff is hidden in the transformation. The majority of this is hidden when he's in bot mode, so it's not something that carries over. And then the wheels, now these are kind of chrome. This is not. So the wheels don't really match so much, but I can live with it. I can definitely live with it. One thing I want to show you is weapon storage. So his gun can fold as if it's the MP10 gun, and it can go in the exact same spot as the MP10 gun, or it can go right here if you don't have the trailer on it. But yeah, that's a nice little inclusion. Weapon storage is starting to become something, or accessory storage, whatever you want to call it, it's starting to become something that you can do in the main line. So that's really awesome. And you can store it and have the trailer on it all at the same time. It's a really tight fit though, so he has no maneuvering. But let's get some comparisons going. Here it is next to the G1, and the G1 cab looks great because G1 focused on the alt modes to look perfect. And this cab looks great. So for it to look this good next to the G1, I'm highly impressed. Now you can see his trailer is shorter, and well, not nearly as long. So when you look at them compared lengthwise, but actually, this figure is taller than Optimus Prime, but his trailer is shorter and smaller than the G1. With the trailer being so small, the only thing you're going to fit in there is a Legends. You're not going to fit any, even Earthrise or what. Nothing's going to fit in there except I hear Cliff Jumper. And Cliff Jumper's a Legends figure. If you don't know, that's a Legends figure sold as a deluxe. We'll get into that when I get that figure. But anyway, nothing fits in there. This has been the Earthrise Optimus Prime. This guy looks good. He's a huge evolutionary step ahead in what they're doing. Even from Siege, although Siege looks good and looks great, the transformation's okay, this is more Masterpiece-esque in the Mainline. This is the convergence of them. There's still a gap. It's still not something that you would present, upscale this and say, hey, here's the Masterpiece Prime, but it's close, it's good, it's great. It's gonna need maybe some upgrade kits for maybe the pipes, because you want them taller and longer. There's a couple of things. Maybe there's a way to fix that, the wheels in the back. But other than that, really good looking figure, really solid. Is it worth $50? I actually think it is. Like, subscribe to Durham Hanger out.